Hi beautiful people! So for a long time in my life, I was just living for myself. And almost everything that I did was motivated by selfish desires and for selfish gain. Just a few examples I can think of off the top of my head of like things I was doing for myself. School, for example. I've always worked very, very hard in school, but it wasn't for my parents, it wasn't for God, like it was for me. I always wanted to get good grades so I could be on the honor roll, and I wanted to have a good GPA so I could get into a good college. And like, that's great to work hard, but like at the end of the day, those decisions were so that my name could be glorified and that I could look smart, you know, compared to all my other classmates. And another one is with guys. I kind of was motivated to be friends with guys because I wanted to maybe get a boyfriend out of it, or you know, see what I could get from that friendship with a guy. Again, like that's completely just selfishly motivated, and it was all about me. Now I could list you many, many more ways I've been selfish in my life, but instead of like focusing on the like past and everything, I'm gonna focus on what I've learned from these situations. So again, all those things were examples of how I was living solely for myself and what I could gain from this world and from other people. Living for myself and living for yourself and for what we can gain from this earth and from things and from other people, when it comes down to it, all of those things are meaningless. Anything that we work for in this world, whether that be followers on Instagram or money or fame or popularity, all of those things are going to fade away one day. All of it will be gone and forgotten, and none of them will matter once we die. Now the question is life meaningless? If everything we're going to work for in this world is just going to spoil and be gone once we die, like what's the point of living? Is there a point at all? Like that's the question. The writer of Ecclesiastes asked the same question. The very, very second verse in Ecclesiastes says, "Meaningless, meaningless, says the teacher, utterly meaningless. Everything is meaningless." Now this book in the Bible goes on to talk about all the ways a guy named Solomon, who was a king, tried to find fulfillment in this world and tried to work and work and work for things of this earth, and he was just completely living for himself. Just a couple of the ways that he tried to kind of find fulfillment and just live for himself and live for gain on this earth were he tried to build huge houses, huge gardens, he had tons of animals, which in that day was like money, you know. He had tons of silver and gold, he was the richest person he knew, and he literally had hundreds and hundreds of wives. And yet, in chapter 2, verse 11, he says, "Yet when I surveyed all that my hands had done and what I had toiled to achieve, everything was meaningless, a chasing after the wind. Nothing was gained under the sun." Nothing fulfilled him when he was living for himself. And he learned the hard way that you can work and work and work and work and nothing will satisfy. At the end of the chapter, Solomon wrote a beautiful verse that is kind of just the key to life and how we should live. Chapter 12, verse 13 says, "Here's the conclusion of the matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the wholeness of man." That's the key. That's it. Like, living for God makes us whole. It fulfills, it satisfies, it gives us purpose, and most importantly, it explains why we're here on this planet. My challenge for you is to stop living for yourself and start living for God, because living for God is going to have so many heavenly rewards that cannot spoil, that cannot fade, and they cannot be taken away from you. Every single day that we wake up, we have to remember why we're here on this planet, which is to serve God and to serve other people. I can tell you from personal experience that my life ended when I started to take my relationship with God seriously. And that's because I came to the end of living for myself and the beginning of living my life for God. And that is when beautiful things can start to happen and God can use your life to bless other people in such radical ways. So I will leave you with this today. Have you come to the end of yourself? Because yes, you will leave behind things of this world, but you will trade them for eternal joy and love that nothing in this world could ever give you the way that God does. Have a great day and know that you are so loved and so beautiful.